My name's Alex Nyworth. I live here in Boise. I'm taking time off from work today because I wanted to be clear that I'm here representing myself and my own views, and not necessarily the employer's name that's on that great badge I have. If I may, I'd like to begin with a quote from the Idaho State Constitution, Article 1, Declaration of Rights, Section 10. The people shall have the right to assemble in a peaceable manner, to consult for their common good, to instruct their representatives, and to petition their legislature for redress of grievances. In my view, that's exactly what's been happening across the street. Consulting for common good, preparing to instruct. We find people who've been empowered by the state to represent, empowered by the voters of our state to represent all of us. So why are we assembled? Why have people taken this drastic action? As the rights of money as speech have been radically expanded, the rights of common people to be heard, and the privilege of being heard, I suppose, have been radically diminished. I heard one person say, if money is speech, tents cost money, then perhaps tents are speech. Regardless, I'd like to urge you to consider restrictions and how you would go about facilitating some of the restrictions on the money, the concentrated wealth being used to corrupt our political process. I recognize that might take a constitutional amendment, and that doesn't necessarily start with you, but I think some encouragement could come from you in moving that process along. I was at the Policy Advocates Working Group meeting in the big green tent over there last night before the General Assembly meeting, and that group agreed that there were a couple pieces of legislation that we want to follow and help work, because we value Idaho's independence. We value, I'm fourth generation Idaho, and I love this place. I love our independence, and I love the fact that we are a people that wants to solve our own problems, and that we can do that. And there's two bills out there that Policy Advocates Working Group identified. House Bill 431, the Freedom to Farm Act, I believe it's called, sponsored by Representative Hart, would allow folks to sell produce at their stands in front of their farms. House Concurrent Resolution 030 would allow for a commission to study a state bank. I think I would ask you personally to talk to our Attorney General and urge him to work with other Attorney Generals about filing a collective class action lawsuit against the perpetrators of some of the fraud that led to the meltdown.
Mr. Nyworth, we're running out of time.
Okay, thank you. And as lawmakers, I'd also like to urge you to establish a commission, a blue ribbon commission, to investigate how Percy's using its proxy voting power to provide some accountability to the people who have led to this fraud as well. I think you have a real opportunity here to be lawmakers, or to move beyond that and become statesmen and women. And I think that working with a group like this is going to lead down the latter path. Passing this bill, obviously, would be the first path. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Harry Hitchcock, and then Mary Bolognino.